Hey everyone, thanks for being tuned in to KPOV 88.9 FM, your high desert community radio in Bend, Oregon. Hope you're having a good day. How we doing out there? This is Stacie Dread, Galactic Ambassador in the cosmic community, an astrology program here on KPOV Tuesdays, 4:30 to 5 p.m. Thanks for making time and space in your day, in your life, for these messages that are coming through today on this big full moon in Sagittarius. We had just early this morning on the Pacific coast of the United States that happened exactly at 4:52 a.m. on Tuesday, June 12th. June 14th. That is today, the day this message is coming out. So, I'll be chatting about the planetary and lunar influences and how these energies may be felt coming through in your day to day this week, and how we may be able to work with these influences to be in harmony with the universe and create a more benevolent life. So this big full moon today, are we feeling that or what? It's at 23 degrees of Sagittarius. Sagittarius is is a fire sign. It's the sign of the centaur, the half human, half horse, and more notably the sign of the bow and arrow and the actual arrow itself. Sagittarians and Sagittarius energy can be felt like an arrow that is shot and pierces through the skin. And this is definitely representative of the type of energy that comes through, especially with this big fiery energy, Sagittarius being a fire sign, and very much being an honest type of energy. And this is also a very generous spirit, Sagittarian energy. You know, we're able to see the long distance visions, you know, creating kind of these more long distance visions and looking into the future. That is very much something that Sagittarius energy is about. And long distance travel. So not only seeing kind of long distances, but also traveling long distances. So, you know, maybe you're booking like some trips for the summer, or you're planning some things for the next few months for yourself on the summer vacation, or you're making plans for when your kids are out of school and looking kind of into the future here, making some travel plans. That's very much a Sagittarius thing to do. Full moons are all about big expressions. The full moons occur when the moon and the sun are directly opposite of each other in the zodiac. And the moon is in Sagittarius, like I said, 23 degrees, and the sun is in Gemini at 23 degrees. So these are opposite energies, but very much work together. Sagittarius being that visionary, that long distance seer and long distance traveler and adventurer. Well, Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is all about short trips and your point A to point B. You're more like your errands, your short trips, your day to day routine traveling that you do from place to place. So no matter what side we're on here, if you have planets in Sagittarius that are being activated and highlighted here, or if you have strong Gemini energy in your chart, we have this traveling, this idea of making plans and traveling places, going places, doing things. Very much a big theme. The full moons, as I mentioned, are about expression. These are big points during the month, during the month. The word month, of course, is based on the word moon. So for this month, this is the big culmination point, the full moon. This is the big expressive moment where 2 weeks ago we had our new moon in Gemini and we created some new intentions. You know, we were working with some little different themes with Gemini. You are very much dealing with gathering information. Gemini is the great information gatherer. Mercury is the messenger of the gods. So this is where we receive messages. And 2 weeks ago at that new moon, that was really the end of that whole eclipse portal and the eclipse moments that we had gone through. So now we have our next full moon here in Sagittarius. We have gathered a bunch of new information over the last couple of weeks, created some new intentions around some area of our life in Gemini, in the house, which is represented in our chart by Gemini. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, you have your own astrological birth chart that is unique to you and really hones in the messages from astrologers like myself and other people. And any messages that you get about astrology, you can take and apply to your own astrological birth chart, which is really the map to your own personality, the map to your own soul contract in this life, the map to your own treasure chest, the map to your heart. So, you can get your own astrological birth chart online. There is a website, astroseek.com, and lots of other places to get a birth chart. I know Pam Gregory offers birth charts on her website also, and then she has tutorials that you can purchase, and actually she walks you through reading your own birth chart and sort of picking through some of the details that you come across. And so whether you are an experienced astrologer and you've been studying your own birth chart for years, or you just go and get a new one today, you can, find these informational, instructional, resources on YouTube or, like I mentioned, on astrologers' websites, and support other people in this way too, by purchasing little things from the astrologers, buy that calendar that, your favorite astrologer makes and sells on Etsy, go and just, purchase one of those tutorials, from somebody and support them, cause that's how they make their money. So, 444 across all my clocks here. So, Stacie Dread, Galactic Ambassador in the cosmic community. We are here on this big full moon in Sagittarius, and that has in itself these really strong themes tied in, these Sagittarius themes. Excuse me, getting a little drink of water there. And I mentioned how Sagittarius is a fire sign and very generous and very open-minded and adventurous, philosophical, so these are some of the themes that we are really, really working with this week. But we have some other pretty strong aspects to this full moon also that I'm quickly going to try to go over. And these are sort of spread out over the week. So I'll go through these and try and give you the exact points. But just know that all these influences that I'm discussing, they're already in play. We're feeling them. It's part of the overlying theme for the week. So, one of those kind of big things is from 23 to 25 degrees of all signs this week is being stimulated. So if you have planets from 23 degrees to 25 degrees of any sign, just know that it's being aspected in some way by something that's going on this week. So, interesting to pay attention to, and very specific, I know, but pay attention to 23, 24, 25 degrees this week, and see what comes up for you there. Another overlying theme, we now have, as of yesterday, June 13th, Mercury entered the sign of Gemini, the sign that Mercury rules. Every sign, every astrological sign has a planet that rules it. Mercury rules Gemini, and Mercury is now in the sign of Gemini. So that means that Mercury is at home, very comfortable, functioning very well, and just kind of like in their best way, functioning at their best. So Mercury, I mentioned, is the messenger of the gods. So we are really, really strongly receiving messages this week, and during the time when Mercury is in Gemini, in his home sign. We do have Venus in her home sign of Taurus. She is very, very comfortable there. She is able to continue to focus on the things that she most truly values. She is able to connect with her ability to love and trust and be vulnerable. The feminine energies are acting very strongly and functioning very strongly and potently when Venus is in Taurus. We also have Mars in the sign of Aries, and Mars rules the sign of Aries. Do you see where I'm going with this? We have a lot of signs in their we have a lot of planets in their home signs, and it is like making them very comfortable and able to function really, really well. Mars in Aries. Mars is the warrior god. This is the archetype of the male energy. This is like fertility. This is like taking action. This is getting things done. This is our physical body. This is moving about and getting things done. So our physical body with Mars and Aries is functioning really well. Our ability to love and trust and the money is flowing right now with Venus in Taurus, and Mercury is now in Gemini, lighting up our mental capacities, our mental abilities, and putting us at home. So this is really special, is it not? We should be sort of feeling this. We are able to function. Everything's really acting together. We've got the body, the heart, and the mind really comfortable and functioning really well. So this kind of like levels everything up. All the personal planets are at home right now. We also have Neptune in the sign of Pisces. Neptune rules the sign of Pisces. So that is very strong also. I've talked a lot about Neptune in Pisces, but that is the great sort of subconsciousness that happens in us, but also the collective unconscious. Neptune also represents unconditional love, our hopes, our dreams, our desires. So we are connecting really strongly with those, with Neptune in Pisces also. So very much a week where we feel at home and very comfortable and able to make things happen. I mean, we are feeling our powers. The moon is also making a square to Neptune. I just mentioned Neptune is in the home sign of Pisces, our hopes, our dreams, our desires. The square is a little tough. So we could be feeling like even maybe a little overwhelmed by these hopes and dreams, like we're kind of hoping for them, a little like where it's putting us into a fantasy land a little bit. Like we're not really connecting with the reality part of it, but we're just like really kind of in the clouds, in this dream state, in this, really caught up in the dream where, it's really important to make sure that we can ground ourselves and actually make something happen, bring something into reality and manifest these things. So, there could be a little bit of, shall I say, inability to connect with reality potentially this week, sort of the capacity to be in a fantasy state is really big. We could definitely get lost in a fantasy this week, and it's going to be really important to ground ourselves and to make sure that we're playing that role for other people. Also, grounding in our conversations that we're having with other people, even if we're talking about dreams. That's beautiful. We have to have a dream for the future to make them happen, but then bringing it to a reality state, is going to be very important. Another thing that is happening this week is we have Mars in a conjunction with Chiron. Mars being that warrior, that ready to fight energy. We're ready to defend. We are feeling very strongly. And with the Sagittarius energy, the archer, and shooting our arrows, we could be really fiery this week. We could be feeling like we kind of like snap a little bit, or that we're seeing people really become incinerated very quickly, like a spontaneous combustion kind of thing. Like there's something physical in front of you, and then all of a sudden it's just like ashes and it's like falling apart. And so, making sure that we're able to control this fire. Well, Mars conjunct with Chiron being the wounded healer. This is a place where I was talking about Chiron, the wounded healer, a few weeks ago as our superhero powers. If you actually find where Chiron is in your birth chart, you can actually get a secret bit of knowledge about your own personal superpower. So Chiron is the wounded healer, but because we go through these experiences and we become wounded, we come out of the end with a clear vision about it. So we learn something through these tough moments that take us into the future and just make us a stronger individual. Help us to, even recognize that within other people and help other people get through tough situations based on our, wounded past and the experiences that we've had. So yeah, everything's kind of, together this week, really just all happening over the top of each other. There's no we have our full moon, that's exact to this morning. And then, kind of these big overlapping, overlying energies. This week is our last week, finishing out this last Mercury retrograde cycle. So we had Mercury retrograde back in May, and then go direct just a week or two ago. And Mercury went direct on, June 3rd. And then now Mercury has moved back into Gemini just yesterday and is going to be clearing out of the shadow phase, going to be moving past 5 degrees of Gemini. So we've been working between 5 degrees of Gemini and 26 degrees of Taurus in this last Mercury retrograde. And so this final week is like the last little bits of that. We're really working on integrating whatever messages came through for us from the gods during that last Mercury retrograde. So we could definitely start feeling after the weekend that it's like a breath of fresh air. You know, we're really starting to move forward. We're really starting to gain some traction, gain some ground on some of these new projects, some of these new things that we have been working towards. So, keep it up. You know, everything is, really beautifully moving forward, and wherever you are in this process is totally perfect. So, stick with it. And, I will be back next week on Tuesday at 4:30 for another episode here of the Cosmic Community. I do have a podcast available that is running through the kpov.org/the Cosmic Community page, but you can actually access that from iTunes podcasts or Spotify podcasts. So it would be fun to see some people listening there. I've also got all my episodes up on YouTube now. So just search Stacie Dread and you can find the playlist for the Cosmic Community there. So have a really good week, and I will talk to you next week. Peace.